This is a bonus mini episode featuring Steve Ferrone's answers to listener questions. You can hear Steve's full-length episode along with 134 other episodes if you subscribe to The Trap Set on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, NPR One, or your favorite podcast app. Daniel asks, which Petty Groove was the hardest to get?
You know, the funny thing was that Listen to Her Heart, for me, when I first started playing it, when I first heard the song, I didn't really listen that closely to the drum part, and I always thought that it was just like the regular Petty, straight up and straight down, but it's actually 4 on the floor, and it always seemed a little bit strange, that beat with that song, you know, and so it works. But it seemed a little strange at first when I first started playing it.
Well, the turnaround of it is a little tricky, right? The actual song. So if that beat is going straight, maybe it helps anchor it.
Being a lot of money when you don't need you. Stan has a certain kind of swing to a lot of the things that he plays. You know, so I had to sort of figure out that a little bit too. So it all sounds very simple, but there's like little things on the inside, and like I say, I was saying that to someone the other day. There's certain feels like the first break in Last Dance for Mary Jane. If you play anything else other than if you play anything other than that, it's just wrong. So it's just a question of like picking your parts and picking the really, really important parts without being karaoke about it.
Bobby asks why you chose not to play any crash cymbals on You Don't Know How It Feels.
I didn't choose to. That was
Was that Rick Rubin producing that?
Yes. What happened was that it was about the second or third take, I think probably that second take that we did. Rick came in and said, because they had like room mics up and we were all in the same room and had a lot of room mics up, he said to me, Steve, I don't like the sound of the cymbals in the microphone in the room mics. Is there anything we can do about that? And I said, well, if you want, I'll play a pass and I won't play any crash cymbals, and then I'll overdub them afterwards. And he said, oh, okay. So we did that take, and then he came back out and he said, it's okay, just play like you would normally play. And we spent the rest of the day playing that song.
And then they went back to that first take.
And then when the I hadn't heard it yet. I hadn't heard the finished album yet, and somebody had heard it on the radio, and they called me and they said, "Is that you playing on Petty's new single?" I said, "What's the single?" I said, "You don't know how it feels." And I said, "Yeah, that's me." They said, "It really annoyed me, that track." And I said, "Why is that?" They said, "Well, you didn't play any crashes on it." And I was like, dang.
Who said that?
That
Another drummer?
No, it was a bass player. It was David Santos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play all the percussion on that as well?
No, I think that was Lenny.
Okay, got it. Somebody that goes by the name of Sleaze Sisters asks about the process of sitting in with all the bands on Letterman. There's a clip in particular that they're talking about where you sat in with Screaming Trees.
Yes, that was the early days of Letterman.
It.
Yeah, that was the early days of Letterman. Yeah.
So what was your process of playing with all these different artists?
Well, I mean, I that wasn't my gig. That was Steve Jordan's gig at the time when that one went down. And what happened was that I got called to sit in to go and sub for Steve on the show, and the deal was that bands that would come in, they would always play with the house band. In other words, they'd always use the drummer from the house band and the bass player from the house band, or the house band would play with the band, and it was kind of sad actually, because the drummer from the Screaming Trees was really pissed off, and rightfully so, that the band had decided to do that, and it was just the vocalist and maybe a guitarist, I think, played with the house band. So I thought that was kind of cruel. It was kind of cruel, and I remember I walked up and I said, "Hey, you know, sorry, man, I was just doing Steve Jordan's job." But yeah, it was. I didn't think that was very fair, but that went on to change when they moved over to the other venue. When they moved out of NBC and moved over to CBS, that sort of changed, and the whole bands would go and play. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And just like a single artist would play with the band. And I did that. I used to do that too. I'd go over there and sub for Anton.
Right.
So.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
That's the lot.